Hello and welcome to Do You Remember, an ongoing video series where every week I read an article on the internet and do my best to remember that article after some very hasty research, and then I tell you about what I just read there, and then there's a link in the show description, and you can go to that, and you can then in the comments tell me what I got right and where I really screwed up. Let's talk about Edwin Hubble. Edwin Hubble, if you heard the name Hubble, you probably are thinking of the telescope. Unless you went to a science high school in Brooklyn, and then you think about the planetarium that's there, because there's a planetarium named after him in Brooklyn. I've been there. It's nice. It's the Edro R. Miller. Monroe. I'm shaking the name of that high school, but there's a high school in Brooklyn with a planetarium named after him. So maybe you think of that. But you probably think of the Hubble telescope. It's named after Edwin. There's even a replica in his hometown in Missouri. He was born in Missouri in the late 1800s, 1889, and then died in 53 in California. He suffered a heart attack and then had a blood clot months later and died in California. We don't know where he's buried. He did not have a funeral, and his wife chose not to reveal to the public where his burial plot is, which is a thing you can apparently do. You could just be like, yeah, you don't get to know that, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's pretty rad. Anyway, Hubble's law is what he was known for, maybe more than in certain circles as an astronomer, known for Hubble's law, which basically is just like, hey, the universe is constantly expanding. Now, was there a French researcher who had published certain elements of that 2 years prior? Yes. Was Hubble's research slightly different and became more notable? Yes. There was controversy at some point that there was some information not translated into English from this paper from this French person whose name I can't remember. My apologies for that. But it was said that actually he's the guy that translated it into English, and he was like, I just took out the parts that Hubble was already covering. I was just going to include my stuff. So controversy, but maybe not super controversy there, because people are like, we don't really feel like this was intentional to like make him look bad. Anyway, you think this work as an astronomer, doing all this work there, would lead to a Nobel Prize, perhaps. But no, because at the time of Edwin Hubble's life, the Nobel Prize for Physics did not include any work in astronomy. Astronomy was not considered part of the physics field, so he was not eligible. And in his later life, while he was like done doing his astronomy stuff, Hubble was like trying to change that, if not just for himself, but other astronomers. And in fact, shortly after his death, it was changed to include astronomy. But the Nobel Prize is not awarded to people who are dead. You got to be alive to accept the Nobel Prize for physics or any other prizes, which feels a little weird. But okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm not on the board. I don't make those calls. Other things about Hubble. There are a bunch of other things named after Hubble, like a crater on the moon. An asteroid was named after Hubble. Like I said, there's a planetarium. There's a highway, I believe, in Missouri, because that's where he's from. There's at least, so the school that has the planetarium is in Brooklyn, and I think it's Edward R. Murrow. Yeah, it's Edward R. Murrow High School. That's a reporter, so I think, or newscaster, I think that's who it is. And there's a high school named after him that's not in Missouri, and I don't remember what state that is. Sorry. So yeah, I remember the controversies were like, hey, did you keep this article that was translated into French by somebody? Like, no, probably not. Hey, did you get a Nobel Peace Prize Physics Prize like you wanted? No, okay. I said he was married. He was only married to one person. This is a weird thing where, like, there's apparently links to articles talking about it, but I didn't follow the links. But basically, he was born a Christian, but he was probably agnostic by the end. Probably. They do say that astronomy and and especially space astronauts you either become real religious than when you weren't before, or you start questioning everything, which I think is pretty fun. There was another thing he's known for, and I can't remember what it was. It was like there was a thing before the law, before his law, and I cannot tell you what it was, and so I do apologize. I mean, he had a doctorate, and I know he volunteered to be in the military, and during World War II, and he finished his doctorate so that he could do something specific in there, but also worked as a civilian. Had a military career, and I think that's all I can remember about Edwin Hubble. The Hubble telescope is like a fucking big deal for studying the stars and seeing distant stars and all that. So it's a cool thing. He had a stamp in the 2000s. They were like, we're gonna put a Hubble on a stamp. That is a thing I can remember from the article. In the comment section below, let me know if there's anything that I really missed, like, oh, Pat, this is a thing that would have stood out in your mind. I can't believe you forgot about this. Or, well, I read the Wikipedia page, and here's this thing, and here's what you got wrong. Here's the name of this French person that he may or may not have tried to bury information about to further his own success. You can let me know that. You can give me a suggestion. I've only got a few more of these left here December, because this runs beginning of January through end of December of this project. Got a new project starting in January, and I know what it is, which is nice. And I know what my last one of these is going to be. It's probably pretty obvious what I would do for the last Do You Remember? And it's not, do you remember all of the things that you covered on Do You Remember? It's not going to be that. It's another one. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment, share it with a friend. As I said, I've been doing this for an entire year just about, so there's plenty of these if you want to check out another one. There's people and places and things and concepts, cool people that doing nonsense things, weird parts of the world, like fun names of towns, lists. There's a couple ones where I just said the things I can remember from a list. Take a look at them, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.